It Comes at Night is the latest psychological drama horror-ish film directed by Trey Edward Schultz, and it stars Joel Edgerton as a dad, and him, his wife, and his son. They live in the middle of the woods, all alone in a cabin, and they do this for survival because out there in the world there is something, presumably a virus, that is killing people, and they're living their normal lives until something, I'm not going to spoil what it is, comes into their life and changes the normality of their home, and so now they have to survive, and they're not sure who or what to trust. Now this movie is a mixed bag for a lot of people. Critics seem to love it, and audiences seem to hate it, and for me, I'm kind of in the middle. Technically speaking, It Comes at Night is a great film. The cinematography, the acting, phenomenal, especially from Joel Edgerton. The editing makes this film feel really quick. Even for 90 minutes, it still feels very quick, especially for the first hour. And for the tone, this movie being a horror-ish film, I'll get to that later, it has a nice, chilling, intense tone. It's never really full-on horror or scary, but it does have a nice, intense feel. And I feel like a lot of that comes from great direction from Schultz. And as I was saying before, Joel Edgerton is in another great performance, and overall the whole cast is really good. But besides Joel Edgerton's character, I feel like not a lot of the other characters have a lot of depth to them. And I feel like that problem is from the script, and I think that might be the biggest problem with me for this movie. And as I said, the tone is really intense and kind of frightening, but it's not really scary as a typical horror movie. While this movie is deemed as a horror movie, overall it's not that scary. The only real horror scary scenes are from the main kid when he has these dreams throughout the movie because of an event that he witnesses in the beginning of the movie, which I'm again not going to spoil. And even though these dream sequences have an importance for later on in the movie, during that time I feel like they're extremely unnecessary and just there to give an audiences a fake scare once in a while. And yeah, as I said before, this movie is really great for the first hour, and then the last 30 minutes happen. This movie is really hard not to spoil because it's great if you don't really know that much going into this movie, so I'm going to try to avoid from spoilers as much as possible, so this is going to be sounding really weird. But let's do this. A little bit past 1 hour, there is a certain subplot with a door. This door becomes open and it causes everything to go wrong for the next 30 minutes. The characters have a conflict in which they believe someone opened the door, but one character says, no, this cannot happen. There is no reason why this should happen. He can't reach the door. They say this can't happen, but they never really resolve this door subplot. The whole movie has a lot of ambiguous themes and meanings, which I get that Trey Edward Schultz wants to do, but this subplot doesn't really have that much ambiguity to it. It just remains unresolved, and I felt like because of this improper subplot, I was just totally taken out for the last 30 minutes because of something that's pretty much a plot hole. And then during the climax, when there's an increase in conflict, there are two characters who want the same goal. And these characters, for some reason, start to get really aggressive towards each other despite wanting the same goal. If these two characters did not get aggressive with each other, they could have lived happily on their own lives, but instead they need to get a conflict, and then which causes our climax. But really, this situation never needed to happen. They even say, I want this to happen. I also want this to happen. Boom, happy ending. They don't need to be very aggressive towards each other. And then it leads to my next problem with the film, which isn't really a script problem, but it's more of a technical aspect. I did say that the movie was very great technically for the first hour, but the last 30 minutes, especially the last 5 minutes, I'm not going to spoil anything, but during the main kid's dream sequences, the aspect ratio becomes much thinner, showing that it's a dream sequence. Now, as I said, this movie is very ambiguous, so my interpretation of it is that the black bars mean dream sequence. And the last 5 minutes of the movie is a fluid scene. I don't know why they decided to do this, because if they did not add those black bars, I feel like despite being a pretty underwhelming and disappointing ending, it won't have such a sour taste, and I feel like if they just got rid of that, it would still be a fine ending. But I feel like this technical choice was more confusing than satisfying. Oh, and also the title, It Comes at Night, no relevance whatsoever. Maybe it is for the dreams that the kid keeps on having because they are at night, but what is it? I know that it's trying to be ambiguous, but there's no relevance. It should not be called It Comes at Night. Dumbest title for a movie. I'm sorry, but it was a stupid title. But yeah, overall, I still did not hate It Comes at Night. I feel like the last 30-25 minutes lacked because of the writing. I feel like for the first hour or so, technically, this is still a great movie. Throughout the movie, there's great acting. It does have a great tone, but again, that last 30 minutes is a bit disappointing. But I'm still on the fence with this. I can't say that this is a necessarily bad or fine movie, so I can say that It Comes at Night is a good movie. So that's It Comes at Night. What do you think? Have you seen the movie? Have you not seen the movie? Whatever you think, you can put in the comments below. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe I won't. Thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't, you could see this video right here, which was my last review, and maybe you could see this video. It's going to be an upcoming review, and it might surprise you. That's it for now. See you next time.